If you've been grinding habits, stacking habits, and still not seeing results, it's probably not your effort. It's the 7 sneaky morning mistakes stealing your momentum. And today, we're going to audit them live as you can fix them today, right now, coming up on Mornings in the Lab with Keith, Jon, and friends, and Jimmy. It starts right now. Welcome to Mornings in the Lab, where
when something negative comes up,
building muscle improves blood flow
from squirty to squirrely.
Start small, build up, and expand from there.
Be entertained by fun over here.
How have I slept? Has my sleep been good? That's
regret doesn't come from breaking the rules, you guys. Hey, what's shaking? Welcome back, nation. This is Mornings in the Lab with Keith, Jon, and friends, your live morning accountability partner where we mix real talk, motivating content, and entertaining conversation to get you fired up to start the day. This is the only morning show built, designed to help you get up and get after it and achieve those biggest, most hairiest, most audacious goals. Remember, this is an R-rated live experience, you guys. It might even dabble in the X-rated experience. If you got kids in the room, you either pop in the headphones or give them a class in intimate education today. Yeah, true story. Because we just don't hold back on this show. And hey, as always, don't you dare hit that snooze button, because you do, you're going to be 9 minutes behind the guy who didn't today. Mark Kemp did not hit the snooze button. He's hanging out waiting for us in the green room today. Yes, sirree, baby. We're here to help you start your day right with laughter, insights, and the kind of accountability that keeps your goals from collecting dust. We lean into accountability. We lean into good habits. We lean into getting up, getting after it every single day right here on the big show, Mornings in the Lab with Keith, Jon, and friends. And hey, guys, first hour, before we dive into the brutal morning routine audit, let's set the table with what's happening out there in the real world. Imagine this. Ice eats through iron faster than water. Yeah, we're going to talk about a crazy story. And hey, you guys been to Stonehenge? You know that place with a bunch of rocks standing up? Well, we discovered something that might reveal where the rocks came from. Meanwhile, James Cameron, we're going to talk Terminator 7 here this morning, you guys. He's going to dig back into a little bit of nostalgia. And speaking of Elon and AI, Grok 5 might have a shot at AGI. Translation, we're not just competing with other men for results, we're competing with machines. Yeah, true story. Which brings us to the question we're going to answer today, nation. If the future is coming this fast, why are so many men still losing hours of progress every morning before they even pour their coffee? So we're going to dig into the morning loop, the 7 morning mistakes stealing your results. I know they are. And stick with us, because after that, we got center stage with Mark Kemp, 40-year-old. He's 40. Yeah, he's 40 years old. True story. 40-year sales veteran. He's actually 140. Yeah, who swears that aggressive selling is dead. He built his career on patience, trust, and canoe paddles. Yeah, canoe paddles. You're not going to want to miss that conversation. Coming up at the bottom of the hour with our guest, Mark Kemp, here today. Deep dive and reloaded. Deep dive, we're talking productivity hacks that look completely insane on the outside, but actually work. Then we're going to dive into the morning loop reloaded with the conversation you won't hear anywhere else. Yeah, the surprising health and confidence benefits of intercrural sex. Yep, dry humping. Coming up this morning on the big show, Mornings in the Lab with Keith, Jon, and friends. And then we're going to go to Morning Focus. We're going to zoom in on deceptively simple questions. Are you even solving the right problem, or are you grinding away at the wrong bottleneck? Maybe you are the bottleneck, Mr. Leader, Mr. Manager. And finally, we're going to wrap up with the Community Corner, where we spotlight all the folks across LinkedIn, YouTube, and Substack who are proving every day that consistency beats talent. Yes, there you go. And then we're going to wrap it up. But first, let's everyone get on stage. Say hi to Sterling and Preston and Jimmy. Let's get the morning loop started right now.
Good morning, Lab Nation. Welcome back.
Welcome back.
You showed up. We're proud of you.
Keith, John, Marty,
Jimmy,
team's in. Let's light it up.
community, glad you're here. Let's get after it.
Marty, Johnny, what's up, boys?
What up?
What's
What up?
happening? Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you loud and clear. Oh, so I was eager to see how you were going to be this morning, Anderson. Whether the drove from point B to point B, stop in the middle, buy Starlink, get in the vehicle, drive home, plug it in, and work. It actually worked. The whole thing worked for you, Anderson.
It was a much more complex day than one would have understood to get this all completed. I'm chomping on 12 milligrams of nicotine. And when I take a piss here in a minute, I'm going to take another 12. Dude, it was one of those days yesterday. It's like, looking back, it's over. But it's like, that's one of those days where all of the fuckery that could have happened over the course of 6 months happened in a day.
Oh no. Looking forward to hearing it. I had a day last week. I didn't share it with you guys where I guess maybe just kind of forgot where it was 6 or 7 o'clock. I said to Lauren, I just got to go to bed so I can get today over with and get to tomorrow. You know those days, John, where you're like, I just have to go to sleep. Marty, where you're like,
I was there. I was like, please fucking get there. Jesus Christ.
I was having like 3 of those a week recently.
Oh, dude, it was just one thing to the next. It's like right when I thought it was okay, this is the last one. Here comes another. Unbelievable.
Is that your alarm?
I'm trying. Yeah, my systems are. I had to go through reset a bunch of shit with new things. So that was a text that came in. Normally those are silenced.
Oh yeah. So hey, I got to ask, how did the border crossing go yesterday? Was it a good one or was it a questionable one?
Border crossing is usually never an issue.
Was
like that last time was just. It was just kind of a real goofy. It was just like the perfect storm.
Yeah.
You know. But I'll tell you that day.
Yeah.
I would have taken that day over yesterday.
So, okay, well then dig in, brother. Reveal some of the day yesterday. I'm eager to hear about it. Where did the hiccups? I didn't use the trouble. Where did the hiccups begin for you yesterday?
Well, I thought the hiccups were going to be, because in Mexico, it's different. Like you can look online for something and go pick it up, and they say they have 16 of them, and you get to like, oh, we're out.
Yeah.
So I was afraid we were going to get there and they were going to not have it.
Yeah.
That makes sense. That was my biggest concern.
Of course. Yeah.
Which means we would have had to drive around and try to find one in Mexicali, which would have been a bitch.
Yes.
Anyway, and keep in mind, we have guests, so we have someone following us.
Oh, so yeah. You got Ben following you around. Yeah.
Drive them all the way around. Fucking driving around in Mexicali would have been terrible. Anyway, piece of cake.
Jon Andersen convoy,
So we get it. I mean, Terry was in and out of that thing in 5 minutes. I was like sitting in the car working on I barely got one social media post prepared. I'm like, holy shit, man. Anyway, so good. We're ramming. We get here, and first thing we notice is there's no fucking water.
Oh no.
Oh man.
Yeah. So it was totally my fault. Because there's it's a cistern and a septic tank.
Yeah.
And it's a big cistern, 6,000 gallons, which normally they're like 2. But I had a really big one put in so I wouldn't have to mess with shit like this. Well, it's good for about 7 or 8 months when nobody's here, right? And we're back at 6 months. And so what I didn't realize was Tay and my middle daughter, 6 of her friends came down for 4 days.
Oh.
And those fucking kids probably burned 3,000 gallons in a few days.
Yes.
It's just a different, like the generation, they'll sit in the shower, have the shower run and not be in the shower for 10 minutes.
Oh yeah, let it warm up. Yeah.
Turn it on and then go watch a fucking TV show and come back.
Right.
So,
So your house is not the only house that operates that way, Anderson. No.
so anyway, so I'm like, okay, well, maybe I'm getting lucky here. Maybe the pump's not burned up. So I called the water people.
Oh,
You got to pay double for emergency water, which is not a big deal. They brought it over. So even that got fucked up. They went to the wrong house.
Oh,
Filled up some guy's fucking cistern. I called them and said, hey, where are they? Like, oh, they're doing it. And I'm like, no, they're not here. So they come here, end up giving us 600 gallons, which is easy piece of cake to get through the night. So I'm thinking, okay, perfect. Pump works. We're good to go. Well, pump's fucked up, which means there's no fucking shower. There's no fucking toilets. There's fucking.
I know.
Yeah. So we had to basis. So the next day we got to bucket water out of this thing and put it into these big 5-gallon jugs, the empty ones we use for drinking water.
Yeah.
So that when you take a dump, you can fill up the back of the toilet again.
Yes.
Which is a fucking pain in the ass. So I'm thinking, okay, shit happens. Well, let's get the Starlink hooked up. So Ben starts hooking up the Starlink. Boom, turns the thing on. It's fucking lightning fast. Everybody's giggling. Oh, this is great.
Yeah.
Well, somehow, some way, because it just turned on. I was working on some other shit, so I wasn't paying attention. Terry thought that it connected to our current account, which it did not.
Oh no.
It gives you 30 fucking free minutes to hook up your payment shit. You hook up your credit card.
Yeah.
That 30 free minutes went fucking by, and bam, we got nothing. We can't fucking download the app.
Oh no.
Yeah. So, Jesus Christ. So, okay, well, fuck. We got to go to my brother's to pick up my Jeep because the old Jeep, we had the clutch fixed, so he got it fixed for us. So, we'll go get some food, go to my brother's, and at this point I'm thinking, okay, the shit's coming, but we're okay, right? So anyway, I call the plumber. The plumber's going to come this morning. The water's coming this morning. Let's go get some food, go to my brother's, use his internet, download the fucking app, get this thing rolling. So I go, I need some cash. So I go by the fucking bank, and they got new machines, which are really fucking cool, right?
Yeah.
Like they're touchscreen and they're English.
Yeah.
It just looks so different. Like I couldn't fucking figure out where the money was coming out. So I pull out some money, get the fucking cash. In the process of trying to figure out where the cash is coming, I fucking left my card there.
Oh no.
Yeah. So I don't know this. So we go eat, have a cool dinner, great fucking tacos. Go to my brother's, right? And then we realize once we get to my brother's that the fucking code we needed to get it fucking started is on the box, which is here. So anyway, so we were let's just go. That we got the app is downloaded now, so hopefully we can connect. Because it was downloading the app that was the problem. It was too big of a whatever you call it, the download.
Yeah.
And Perry's like, I think I can make it work when we get home. If not, we'll figure it out. I'll stay up. It takes so long to load. She goes, I know you got to be ready at 5. Blah 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 blah. And at this point, where tensions are rising, and Terry and I are starting to get on each other a little bit.
Yes.
We've got fucking guests, so we ended up getting a little bit of a spat, but we held our shit together. So,
Yes.
Okay. At very least, we got the fucking Jeep. We had to come pick up the Jeep anyway. So coming out of the my brother's, I'm like, fuck, the Jeep's empty. I don't think I'm gonna make it home. So we pull over to get gas. Not a big deal. I go to fucking pay for the fucking gas. This is when I realized my card is gone.
Oh.
So in actuality, I'm really fucking lucky that we were out of gas. Or I might have figured that card was gone for days. So I go back to the fucking place. They don't have the fucking card. So I got to then turn my card off, that's the account I use when we're here. So now the card that we use over here is fucking turned off. Right. And anyway, so then this is where it gets sweet. Right. So you're thinking, okay, at this point, I'm like, I've paid my dues for a long time. I'm good. We're good. Let's just get home. Let me get to bed. Let's get this thing hooked up. fucking driving home, about halfway home, the fucking clutch goes
Are you kidding me?
out again. Can you fucking believe this shit? So now I'm fucking, it's just like, dude. So I limped this motherfucker home, right? And at this point, can you hear me? Am I still there?
Yeah.
I limped this motherfucker home. So now I've got the problem that I left with was still here, right? Get home, and now we're at this point, we're just fucking sticky dirty. So we got to go get in the fucking, we go down to the pool, get in the fucking hot tub for our fucking
Johnny,
shower.
I lost you on horizontal.
I'm looking right now.
Yeah. Good morning, everybody. Hanging out with Keith, John, and Marty here on Mornings and Live with Keith, John, and Friends. Johnny's telling us his big traveling story yesterday. Marty, how was your day yesterday, brother?
It wasn't that eventful, but I actually had a pretty chill day. But I feel Johnny's pain. When I was managing that gym, I just had the craziest stuff happening.
Just one thing after another, right?
Oh my God, it was crazy.
Yeah, dude, those days are fucking nuts. So basically, limped the fucking Jeep home. They polished off the day by going down to the fucking pool to get into the hot tub and then just use the shower to rinse off, which actually was pretty fucking, it was almost like a religious experience. All four of us were like, you know what? We really not showered, but the fact that we got all this, it's like we got to wash the day off.
You know what I love about this story is that good morning, everybody. Hanging out with Keith, John, and Marty here on Mornings Live with Keith, John, and Friends. Is that Marty? It's bad enough that you have a day where the clutch goes, or it's bad enough where you have the day where you forget your bank card, or it's bad enough where you show up at a place and there's no water. No water is the worst because that affects like its toilet, its shower, its cleanliness, right? It's like
you don't realize it, you don't have it.
Yeah, and I bet you at some point in your head you're like, is there a motel in the area we got to consider for the night or something? Or like you're thinking about everything, right? But man, you talk about 1, 2, 3. It's like everything that could have possibly happened.
Yeah, and the thing that kind of pisses me off about it is that most of this stuff was preventable.
Yeah.
So,
but
I was telling Ben, I was like, dude, when I hear people doing dumb shit like this, I'm thinking to myself, you need better systems in your life, motherfucker.
But you know what? Sometimes, and I'll invite, and you know this, but sometimes we just have to accept what the universe deals us, right? And it's just finding a way to go, okay, this is what it is. That's why I said to you last week, I was like, I just got to go to bed. I just got to go to bed and get to tomorrow because tomorrow is going to be a new day, right? And it's just one of those days, right?
100%. By the time I got to bed, it was probably fucking midnight.
Yeah.
Well, here's the blessing, dude. Here's the fucking biggest blessing. Somewhere in this deal, I think when we were trying to see if we could prime the pump to get the pump to work, I was like, you know what? I don't think tomorrow's going to be a good training day.
Yeah.
I got to decide now what I need to do. It's fairly late, but so much has gone wrong. And I'm like, okay, if you say you're going to do it, you're going to do it. So make a good choice. And I was like, I'm going to protect my training day because I can tell already I'm not gonna be in my.
Oh no, you're not. No, today's the day you gotta.
So I said, no, I'm gonna not train. And I was about 10 o'clock. I was like, thank fucking God, because if I'd said that I was going to do it, I would have had to do it.
100%. Well, yeah, because
biggest fucking blessing of the whole fucking day. Because if today was a day where I had to force myself to do what I said I was going to do, I would not be happy today.
No, you'd be miserable right now, hanging out with us, knowing what you were having to look forward to, right? Yeah, exactly. Good morning, everybody. We got Mark Kemp hanging out with us in the green room. Going to join us here in about 6-7 minutes or so. Senior benefits and estate consultant, 40 plus years in sales. He's the author of Unfurl Your Sales. He's all about how our hardcore aggressive sales is not about the world today. We got Mark Kemp joining us in a few moments. Good morning, Lauren. I see you there in the comments, baby. Guys, I think you got to buy me some handcuffs. Because my wife is just lifting hard these days, man, and I just want to just put my hands all over her. So I'm holding my hands back, boys. Just holding my hands back. You know what I'm saying? Just holding them back. Hey, Preston, Sterling, I know you guys got a few topics for us to throw on the table today before Mark joins us in the lab. So Sterling, Preston, what are we talking about this morning with myself, John, and Marty? Got a few things there to talk about this morning. Guys, what are we talking about?
7 leaks are stealing your morning. We fix them live. Stay with us. Sophia. Morning. Who's on center stage?
Mark Kempf, sales veteran. Aggressive selling is dead.
Coming up on Deep Dive, the productivity hack that looks insane but works. Tried it myself. I approve.
And we're talking dry humping. Because why not?
Education can be entertaining.
And in Morning Focus, diagnose your bottleneck.
We'll show a simple test and how to pick one fix today.
Keith, the conversation desk is yours. Melissa's given us makeovers and we lost track of time, man.
Thank you, boys. I appreciate that. Sophia Grant making a cameo appearance, working on some content with Sophia coming up. Guys, I found something that Johnny, I'm going to blow you away. Marty, I'm going to blow you away. Ice dissolves iron better than water. Can you believe it?
Interesting.
That is interesting. I know. I thought the same thing, actually, because you don't think about that. A new study from Umeå University, Marty, shows that ice can release more iron than minerals than liquid water, overturning centuries and centuries of beliefs that frozen environments are chemically dormant. So I find this quite fascinating, actually, that ice at minus 10 degrees dissolved more iron than liquid water at 25 degrees. So in other words, ice dissolves iron better than water. And again, you wouldn't think so, but I know it's maybe a simple concept, but I saw it, I read about it, and I thought you guys would be fascinated by it, but like I do, because we don't think of ice having those kind of properties to do that kind of work.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of trippy how when you think temperature changes molecules, and when molecules change, outcomes are different.
Yes, I'm glad you said that, Anderson, because I know you're interested in that kind of stuff. So I was quite
so crazy, dude. There's like, so I was studying this molecule. It's actually not a peptide, but there's a lot of molecules that just outside the peptide family. Yeah, there's this one called tensifensine.
Okay,
it's basically what it does in a nutshell. It just rebalances your brain chemicals, because we get older, the balance between the three big ones get off, and it kind of just makes us not who we are. So I'm looking at this, I'm studying this molecule. Yeah. And a lot of times they'll show you what it's similar to. One of the molecules it was similar to was cocaine.
Really?
Yeah. It just shows how, molecules can be like just this little shift different, and it makes a completely different outcome. Because this tensifensine doesn't nothing like cocaine.
Fascinating segue. Yeah, it's fascinating segue, because water, ice, you think it's one and the same, but once those molecules
changes, everything outcome is totally different.
So good segue. I like to read. Was reading this morning. Our boy Charlie Sheen has that Netflix documentary out, and he was quoted here. John, you'll get this, Marty. The Mexican drug cartels cut him off from cocaine supplies because they thought he was dealing it. He was buying so much from them. He was buying so much that he was like, they're like, no, you can't buy anymore because we think you're dealing it. And he talked about how he was what was it? Cooking up 7-gram rocks of crack. So I don't know if you guys have made crack before, Marty, but it's baking soda, it's water, and it's cocaine, and you cook it, right? And then
I hope that Marty's never made crack before.
No, I know
I've made crack before.
I got you, Mart. I got you.
Yeah. But and they were talking about how they were how his drug dealer was trying to get Charlie off the cocaine. Talk about molecule changes, Johnny, by continuing to increase the cutting of the cocaine with more baking soda.
Yeah.
Really smoking baking soda instead of crack because they were trying to cut so much into it to get the guy off of it. Again, talking molecule changes, right?
Dude, yeah, it's crazy. Funny enough, the mob, dude. The mob controls everything, not just drugs.
Oh,
even like everything. Down here, you know what they control in this little town?
Tell me.
Fishing.
Come on.
Swear to God, fish.
You probably got to pay your taxes. You couldn't fish in a certain spot. You got to give certain money to the fucking boss, right? Like that basic shit.
There's a certain fish that only exists in the Sea of Cortez.
Yeah.
And if you get the stomach of this thing, the stomach is, for whatever reason, the Chinese are paying like 10 grand for one of these stomachs.
Jesus, Murphy.
So they want control over the fishermen because they pull these things up.
Yes.
And the mob wants them.
That's incredible, man. That's incredible. That's
so in this little town, as long as you're out fishing, you're out of the mob's hair.
Yeah. Hey, Marty, do you use Grok at all?
Sometimes.
What do you use it for?
I've used it for thumbnails and some research.
Yeah.
But mostly I'm on ChatGPT and Sora now.
Yeah. So there's some rumblings that Elon says that Grok 5 coming out in the next couple of months, he says has a chance of reaching AGI, artificial general intelligence, a first for any commercial system. We know there's a race out right now between ChatGPT and Google and everybody. And Elon thinks that he's going to be first with this whole product that is. And it's funny because I think most are still struggling to define what artificial general intelligence means. It's this entity that would be generally smarter than all of us. But he's talking about that hit in the market. And I do want to say one thing that I find just I'm not going to offer opinion, just going to throw it out there and float a balloon because I find it humorous who the words are coming from. So the guy with the orange hair last night makes a big announcement, that pregnant women might not want to be taking Tylenol because they're linking that with autism. So he's got no scientific or substantive proof, but the leader of the country down there is like, nah, just don't do this. So and
he couldn't pronounce the word.
I know.
See the medicine you're talking about.
Yeah, he couldn't pronounce it.
That stuff will, that stuff will, you can when kids go and take a bottle of pills, they kill themselves mostly with a bottle of Tylenol.
Yes. Oh, I know acetaminophen is bad. I know it's toxic. I just simply want to create a little bit of ambiguous humor around a dude getting up there saying, don't do this. And then you got the UK saying today, the whole nation of the UK saying, I'll just ignore that guy.
Hey, my schedule is screwed up this morning. Give me a second. I got to take a dump.
You do. So here, you do that. And then we're going to Mark and I got one more conversation and then we're going to bring in Mark Kemp. So Jimmy, let's walk Johnny off the stage so we can go deal with his water situation. Hey, Johnny, I'm sorry, Marty. We talked about this, I think, last week with you and I, but remember Terminator?
Yep.
All the series? You watched them all? Did you watch back to the first one? You've seen them all?
It's a little before my time, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. I know of it, but I don't think I've watched any of them in full.
Oh, interesting. So I'm curious because I know it's before your time, but I wondered if that aura or if that generation of content seeped over to you, or if any of them in the series made your way, or not really. No?
Not really.
Because it was rooted in my generation, right? So I'm suspecting as it aged with whatever, Terminator 4, Terminator 5, it was still appealing to my generation, not your generation. But I bring it up because Cameron, the guy who makes it, is looking to make Terminator 7 to appeal to more of your audience and Carter's audience. I don't know if you heard me say this last week, but he's actually struggling with the script, Marty, because the world and AI is moving so fast that he's concerned that if he writes the movie and makes the movie by the time it comes out, what he's predicting to be future stuff is already going to be past.
I mean, the way stuff's moving now. We literally just talked about robots yesterday. So
I know there's one now in your backyard, right? You know what I'm saying? It's just ridiculous, right?
Yeah, he might want to move in another direction. Seriously.
Yeah. I know exactly. And hey, before we bring Mark Kempf up here on the stage here, one last topic I want to get to with you, Marty. Do you know Stonehenge? You've been to Stonehenge before? Do you know of it? Are you familiar with it?
Never heard of it.
You know those big series of rocks that are in outside of Wales there in the UK? No. So it's those rocks that are all set up. Well, there's a 5,000-year-old cow tooth that might tie Stonehenge to Wales. Scientists have discovered the first direct evidence linking cattle at Stonehenge to Wales, suggesting livestock may have helped transport the site's massive bluestones. I've been there. It's ridiculous, actually. There's a bunch of middle of field. There's a bunch of stones stood up, and you're asking yourself, how the hell did they get here? They're all, it's just, I'll throw a link over to you later too, so you can check it out. But the study strengthens the theory that cattle served as draft animals, hauling stones during Stonehenge's earliest construction. The reality is, Marty, nobody knows how it got there. And some are saying it's aliens, some are saying it's old societies, but I'd invite you to check out Stonehenge when you got a moment. I think you'll be quite fascinated by what it is all about. All right.
Yeah, I'll check that out, man. That definitely sounds interesting.
Yeah, 100%. All right, Jimmy. I know we got Mark Kemp patiently waiting for us. Let's do this, Jim. Let's do a transition over to center stage. But before we do that, guys, you guys can join the live conversation with us right now. The phone lines will be open in the second hour. 431-300-3005 phone text or leave a voicemail. Come say hi in the comments. The vertical channel is active. The horizontal channel is active. We've got a bunch of folks joining in here today. I see a bunch of you guys over on X this morning as well. Good morning to the folks on X. We go live right here, 8 o'clock Eastern time, YouTube, LinkedIn, and X. And if you're not watching the show live, why not get up, join us 8 o'clock Eastern time right here on the big network, the Mornings in the Lab live network. Jimmy, let's get to that opener with Mark Kemp. Let's bring the old man on the stage and have a good conversation with Mark Kemp. Let's tease it, Jimmy. Let's get after it. What if the secret to winning in sales isn't about being a shark, but about being the steady hand that guides the canoe? For decades, we've been told that aggressive tactics and relentless closing are the only way to succeed. But what if that's why so many of us feel like we're just paddling in circles? New thinking from Mark Kemp, backed by 40 years of in-the-trenches experience, shows that the most enduring success comes not from pressure, but from a gradual, deliberate process of building trust. It's a philosophy of unfurling a relationship, not forcing a transaction. It's about proving that kindness isn't a weakness, but your most powerful asset. Stop selling, start building, and watch your world change. Good morning, Shafiq. Good morning, Mike Sullivan. Good morning, B Drive. Good morning, everybody in the comments this morning, hanging out with Keith and Marty. Johnny's just taking a break. We know where he's sitting, but picture this. You're in a canoe. You're paddling furiously on one side, Marty, and you're going absolutely nowhere but in circles. Marty, have you paddled in a canoe before? Marty?
Never.
No, never, eh? Oh, we got to do some canoe paddling with Marty. Well, Mark Kemp describes this like his sales career. And our guest today spent 40 years protecting and perfecting the art of paddling on both sides of the canoe, not through aggressive sales tactics, but something he calls unfurling, Marty. And he's the guy who's proved that being too nice in sales isn't a weakness. It's actually your superpower. And I can tell you right now, we've been patiently waiting for this guy to join us in the lab. We've been communicating over the months over on LinkedIn. He's got a book coming out. So Jimmy, without further ado, let's bring in the big man himself, Mr. Mark Kemp.
Hey guys, nice to meet you all. What a pleasure.
What's going on, Mark?
I'm having a better day than Johnny had yesterday, let me tell you.
Yeah,
I was thinking he should put that on his failure resume.
Yes, exactly. The failure resume from yesterday. Mark, where are you joining us from today?
I'm in lovely Paris, Ontario, Canada. So.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah. So not too far from Toronto, but I don't know.
Oh, I didn't know you, dude. I didn't know you were a Canadian.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
wow.
you're in the very center, east-west of Canada, right?
Yeah, I'm just in the middle of the country here. Yeah, I was very grateful. I had the young man Marty come visit me last summer, but yeah, right here in the big old province of Manitoba.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks, guys.
So, Mark, you have a book called Unfurl Your Sales. We talked a few months ago, and you said it was working on coming out, and it's about teaching consultants everywhere that you don't need to be a shark or swim with the big fish. But before we get into that, why don't you give our boy Marty a lesson on unfurling, Mark Kemp?
Unfurling. Well, so it's a word that's used for two things mostly, right? It's where you unfurl a flag really slowly, or a sail on a sailboat that goes up really slowly.
Oh.
And when it's unfurled, it fills full of air, right? And that's when you can take off.
Oh.
So the reason I liked it as a metaphor for the book is because I think the best selling is done gradually, progressively, slowly, with the client in mind. And so the coin principle, which is part of the core of the book, the coin principle, has to do with doing things very gradually. You mentioned Stonehenge. So a coin, Quoin, is actually what we would think of as a doorstop shape. It's kind of a boring image, let's say.
Like a wedge.
A wedge, yeah. And if you stick that under, instead of the alternative, the aggressive kind of selling, I think of as an axe, right? So like that kind of shape.
Yeah.
And it's violent and aggressive, and it's trying to make something happen immediately. The idea of doing a slow doorstop is that it's very gradual. And the great thing is about being gradual is it creates trust and openness, and then the conversations are way better.
Yeah.
And when people make decisions, they keep them, right? Because they're consultative and trusted. So it's just the way to go. And more importantly for me, about half the people that are in sales full time are doing it where they have clients and they get to keep clients and keep serving clients. And I actually believe that selling is not intended to make a sale. It's actually intended to create a long-term client relationship. So it really matters how you do that first sale, because how you treat someone when you're selling them is how it'll play out over the course of a long-term relationship.
Yeah.
And so I had clients that were for 30 years and many for over 20. And those are so valuable. They're just the best.
Yeah, you're hanging out with Mark Kempf this morning. Good morning, Tom Ritchie, Legacies Podcast. He's 20 minutes from you there, Mark. You got Tom Ritchie joining us with the greatest cannabis podcast on the planet right now. It's called Legacies Podcast. Tom Ritchie meet Mark Kempf. Mark Kempf meet Tom Ritchie. You guys are just neighbors along the way here. Hey, Mark, so wilderness canoeing and sales consulting. Now, one requires navigating rapids, and the other requires navigating egos. Which one would you say is actually more dangerous?
Well, the egos are permanent, right? They can
Yeah.
go up. So and the ego of a sales guy or salesperson can be terrible, right? Like a terrible fit for clients and cause all kinds of problems, but cause all kinds of problems for staff. It's just a mess. So it's really good to be, if not humble, realistic and honest with people. And egos get in the way of doing all that, right? So somebody who's an ego, they just want to succeed. All they care about is making the sale. And Keith, think of it this way. Somebody who's aggressive wants to succeed. Success is all they care about. So success might be $1 million a year, whatever the top, however they measure it. The proper way to be, I think, long-term is to seek accomplishment. So you want to accomplish something substantial. And often that has to do with doing good. And that's actually why I love sales, is because I was able to do meaningful work for people and do, good things for them.
Yeah. Marty.
Oh, yeah. First of all, how long have you been in the sales game, Mark?
Well, over 40 years. So I retired.
So you've seen it all pretty much. So you've seen it all pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you give us the craziest story in your sales career?
In my sales career?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I hate to call anyone out.
You don't have to say their names.
I'll just say there's a guy who worked for us for about 3 years, and he was he was an animal, just an animal. And he was a MMA fighter, and he was crazy. And he would do things, and he had a management role. So he did something once where he went after a client and he lied to them and told them all kinds of terrible things. And then he had a meeting where he's walking down the hallway talking to the rest of the staff while he's doing this. And he's bragging about how well he did and how great this was. And he's saying that the guy who he took the business from, that was his biggest client. And he said, I understand he's in his office right now crying because he's lost his biggest client. And he's just boasting like crazy. Talk about egos, Keith.
Yeah.
And just talking like, just talking shit. And it was not 6 hours later, he lost it back to the other guy. and I just say, many of us weren't sorry that happened. So
Got to be humble.
Got to be humble.
Yeah, that may not actually be the craziest, but it was a enlightening moment, let me say.
Yeah, no kidding. I see Johnny's sitting back down there in the chair there, Jimmy. We'll get him up here in a couple of minutes here. Mark, we often talk about it, and I hope John can hear me when I introduce this topic, because we talked about this before in the show. But we often talk about Johnny meet Mark, Mark meet John.
Mark,
Great to meet you, Johnny.
Yeah. How are you?
Good to meet you. Very well, very well.
So we've talked before in the past that the single most important decision we as humans can make in life is our partner. Not our business partner, but our wife, our significant other, our spouse, our relationship. And often we are not taught how to pick that partner.
Right.
You've been married for 45 years while building an incredible career in sales. I got to be honest, brother. What's been harder, maintaining a 30-year client relationship or a 45-year marriage? And what has taught you more about patience? Share some of your experience about being married for 45 years and those how it, the relations that you have compared to your client relationships.
Yeah. Well, I'll say the biggest comparison on group, my clients, even if I had them for 20 years, often it was the very same person I was dealing with for 20 years. And the situation didn't quite change. It's funny in life, though, right? Our lives changed completely. So we were married very young, and 21 and 22. And so you go through all kinds of changes. So it just takes a lot of, I don't know, it does take some patience sometimes, but more on my wife's side for sure. And I've got to say, she's the talented one in the family. So she has to put up with my stuff and teach me how to do things. And it's been harder on her, but it's a challenge. And I always say to people, when it comes to long-term marriage, is that 45 years, 20 years, any year could be your best or your worst. That's just the truth of it. So I would say if you want to stay married, find somebody who really loves you and you enjoys their time, but also somebody who wants to stay married, because there's always reasons to not stay married.
That's a good point. That's a really good point, especially in today. It seems like, more marriages end in divorce. It's almost like people do it with the idea it's some sort of a problem solver, and it's not.
Yeah, not at all. And we really just, we trust and love each other. So it's easy that way. I feel for people that don't have trust or love. I mean, how do they stay together? It's probably not for the wrong things.
Mark,
for the right
so Mark, you've seen 40 years of employee benefits evolution, right? So you've been married 45 years, but you've also seen those 40 years of those, different kind of benefits for employees. What's that one change that made you think, thank God I'm just leaving all this stuff because I just don't want to keep explaining this to clients?
Keith, you're not wrong. I got out because I just couldn't handle it anymore, with and be a sane person. The biggest thing really is the insurers. So the insurers have gotten so poorly at managing their own stuff that it just causes all kinds of problems, and we have to be the ones that try to solve it. And it just drives me crazy. Like when I get a call from a plan administrator saying that one of their employees couldn't get their drugs, they've been getting that medication for 12 years and now they can't get it, and we have to figure out why. And it's a systems problem, and insurers can't fix it in one day. It's like, that drives me nuts. The insurers generally on 98% of the stuff do a great job. So I don't want to beat up on them completely, but during COVID, a lot of people in the industry retired and they couldn't replace them with skilled people. And it's just been a struggle ever since.
Mark, you are active. Tai Chi, yoga. You're trained to be the most Zen competitive person around. You do nice Zen things, right? Which one actually helps more with sales, the meditation or the competition?
The Zen helps me as an individual. Being peaceful and dealing with stuff. But nothing I do really is competitive anymore, other than work. It's funny. I don't know. I was going to ask you, John, when you were competing, did you feel like you were competing you compete by concentration, right? By trying your best, working toward a goal, all that stuff. Did you find you were competing hard or nasty with the other competitors, or are you just trying to do your very best and see where you ended up?
Well, I mean, you always want to pay attention to what's going around you, of course, with what other guys are doing. But especially when, to answer your question, I kind of did both. When I was in the lower ranks, I was literally just trying to beat up everybody around me, right? But then you get to international, where everybody's national champion. You're not beating anybody up. Everybody's beating everybody up. So you learn very quickly. Today, I need to do the best I can do. And if I don't focus on that, I'm going to get my ass kicked. So then you get to a high level, you have to compete with yourself.
Yeah. I think it's the very same thing as sales. So I would be competing with somebody who just wasn't in the business very long or didn't know what they're doing, or obviously just by looking at the stuff, they were terrible at it. And so that's a whole different competition. And you still have to be very gentle in my world. You have to be very gentle. There's a reason they picked that person. It could be highly personal to employer. But when you get to the higher end and you're competing against somebody who's really good, then I'm probably not going to beat that person on skill set or experience alone. So it has to be something else. And I think that's where the coin principle and being very gradual and building a relationship with them is so key. And in fact, if I was welcomed into a client or a prospect for the first time, and I knew the incumbent was a really good person, I would ask them up front. I say, listen, Bill strikes me as a really good guy. I've known him for 20 years. He knows his stuff. So what's going on? Just come up with it, right? Because you want to know if you're even in the game or not. And then if I'm going to try to get that case, I'm going to try as hard as I can. Like, I'm going to be right on it. But that doesn't mean I'm ever going to say anything bad about Bill. I'm just going to get it on my own basis.
Well, and yeah, along those lines, I love it, brother, because you when you're at that high level, you have to learn to basically find your strengths and use those strengths to do the best you can. If you're looking at somebody else, what you're not doing is maximizing yourself.
Yeah, it's perfect. Yeah. And also in sales, you're also always worrying about a fit, right? So I have to be the best fit for that person and dovetail with them. And often it's just the fit that's the problem.
Yeah.
Bill might be a great guy, but he's not a great fit with the CEO or something.
Good morning, everybody. Hanging out with myself, Jon Andersen, Christopher Martin, a.k.a. CMartyFit, and our guest this morning, Mark Kempf, the 40-year sales veteran who says aggressive selling is dead. Hey, Mark, are you a morning routine guy?
I am a bit, but no big routine like you guys. I get up and have a glass of water, and I stretch, and then I have a coffee. And
glass of water out of the gate is good, though, brother. That's perfect.
Yeah,
absolutely, exactly it. So here's what I want to do. I want to take a few minutes here with Mark, Jon.
Before you jump, bro, I just wanted to point out something. As Mark, if he's not the first, he's got to be one of the few that have done something for 40 years. And I talk about that all the time.
You know what, Johnny? You're bang on, brother. I don't think we've had a guest.
I've been under the iron umbrella for 40 years, never fucking missed. And only because of my consistency over those decades am I where I am. And he basically has done that in his arena. And we don't see people like that.
Yeah.
Andersen, we have not had a guest on this show. You're absolutely right. The hundreds of guests, maybe even 1,000 over the last year and a half that have been on the show. There has not been one person that has, other than yourself, that has done a 30 or 40 or 50 year journey.
We got to call it the 4-decade club. Baby.
Yeah. Sure. and around longer than Marty's been alive.
Yeah. Mark and I just started the 4-decade club. Let's go, bro.
This is true.
You know what else? But Keith, it is. John said it is about consistency, but you still have to evolve. Everything's about evolution. So,
yes.
John, you're not training the same way you were. You're not eating the same way you were, right?
No.
So, and the way I do work and did it my last year was completely different than my first year.
Yes.
And I pivoted so many times in my 40 years. I'm sure, as you're speaking of right now.
Yeah. So I know people who have been at it as long as I have, but every year it kind of gets smaller and smaller and smaller, right? The world. And the key to, if you want to keep going this way, you have to keep evolving and growing.
That's awesome.
Another thing that I want to point out about the 4-decade club, and Mark, I want your opinion. So you're always making progress in that first decade, second decade here, third, you're here. By the fourth, man, it's fucking you're almost vertical because you've gained so much knowledge.
Yeah.
And you know what to do, you know what not to do.
Yep.
You're able to pick out the things that are going to move the needle the biggest and the fastest. And sometimes I just know things. And, someone asks, how do you know? Fuck, I mean, I could think about it and tell you how I know, but I just know.
Yeah. John, I find I know more and can share more now with people that are struggling in the industry or newer people in the industry than that. It kind of amazes me and actually has more impact on them than it does on me. So I found in the last 5 years, I definitely, I had so many clients and so much of my work was just dealing with my own clients that it just sort of started to plateau like this. And I found that's actually when I started thinking about retirement it's not that I love my clients, but you just sort of lose the buzz, right? And And so
are you going to draw? Are you not joining the 5-decade club, brother? Because I'll be
no,
6,
no.
7, 8. We don't know how many decades I'm going to get.
Well, unless I'm doing it through coaching or consulting with the book, but
Well,
I'm not.
Because that's what I was going to say. Because at a certain point, you get so good, you realize that part of what it's almost like it's your duty to help other people understand what you understand. It's like the Indians used to take the youngsters and put them in the teepees with the old ones to pass knowledge down. You get to a certain point where it's almost like our duty to help others understand what we understand.
Yeah. My last year, I had a lot of coffees and breakfast with some younger guys struggling, and
Good for you, brother.
that was really good. That was insightful. And sometimes I'd have more than one, but if some guy had no interest in getting better or working at it, then I only had to have one conversation with that guy. But really, I wrote the book for those guys and for the people that have been at it for 10 years and longer and are not really realizing the value of all their hard work. So there's something not being done right. And so I think those two people, and I actually started writing it for guys like me because I was just, honestly, I was too nice, too kind, too gentle to be in this business. I had to figure a way to get around that.
And it's interesting to hear you say that, Mark, because let's teach the young boy, Marty, our brother here, something. Because you're the kind soul and you talk, and in your language, this is fascinating, Marty and John, you never use the word close when talking about deals. It's always build or develop or create. And I don't mean, did you realize that you've removed this aggressive language from your sales?
There's a whole set of vocabulary you don't use.
Yeah. And I'm fascinated by that, Mark. I'm fascinated by your choices that you're like, I'm not using the word close. Why is that, Mark?
Well, close is an axe move, right? It's very aggressive. So it doesn't have to be. And at some point you have to ask for the business. That's the key. So you still have to have some urgency to it. You still have to encourage action by the client. You still have to have concentration on the end of the process. I want to have a client. I'm not doing this for fun and education only. So I want to have a relationship with this client long term. So you have to find a way to do it, but you don't do it through a hard close. You know, the whole ABC, always be closing. That's like the biggest mantra in sales. So dead. So I always say, always be coining, just be gradually moving toward the finish line. And then you have to have a way of asking for the business. And some guys can't ask for the business in any way, even in the wrong way. But in asking for it in the nicest way, the gentlest way, it takes some skill. You know, it takes some subtlety, and it happens in the moment. That's the thing. It's happening within the relationship you've built over time with this person. So there's no magic word. I mean, there are some, but generally it's not like a closing thing. I'm not trying to create 12 ways to close and 12 ways to, push against some objection. That's not the idea at all.
Quick question, brother. So like, if I'm talking to, like you're talking about the youngsters that are just trying to, you can see they're kicking and scratching, trying to make their way. So the things that I'll always, if they're soliciting information from me, and I always try to make it simple, especially at the parting of whatever communication we're having, is I'll leave them with, just keep showing up. Mm-hmm. What do you say to them?
Actually, I ask them what's holding you back, basically. So solve that problem. If and just identify it and be clear about it, because there's something that's not happening. So there's a guy, again, I don't want to say too much, but there's a guy who was just grinding like crazy. I mean, legit 60 hours a week and grind, and not getting as far as he should. And I said, so let's figure it out, And so we figured out what's holding you back. We figured out what's holding him back. He said, okay, he's going to keep going doing his grind. That's no problem. He's just built to grind. So he just needed to do it in a better way. And then if somebody said, I just can't seem to get to work harder than 6 hours a day, sort of thing. Well, then if there's no solution to that, you might as well just leave, because it's not going to happen.
Yeah,
Mark Kemp joining us this morning.
It's easy.
Mark Kemp joining us this morning, the 40-year sales veteran who says aggressive selling is dead. Mark just launched his book, Unfurling Sales with Mark Kemp. Mark, I got some quick hitters for you before we wrap up our conversation with you today.
All right.
Okay? Ready for him?
Yep.
Let's do them. What sales advice you ever received in a single sentence? The worst sales advice.
The worst, I'll say. Make a sale as soon as you can.
Yeah, that is a pretty bad advice, isn't it? Paddle or motor when canoeing?
Never a motor.
Look, I thought you were going to say motor, man. I'm like, oh my God, you're actually going to say motor?
There's such thing as putting a motor on a canoe?
There are some. You can kind of side saddle them with little electrics and stuff, but yeah.
That's how we're John, that's how we're gonna introduce Marty to canoeing. We're gonna throw a motor in the canoe and say, Marty, this is how you canoe. LinkedIn or cold calls? Mark Kempf.
Only LinkedIn. I did a ton of cold calls in my life. Most
overused word in employee benefits.
Complete.
Retirement hobby you swore you'd never do.
Let's see. I didn't. I don't turn away anything. I'm good. I've got an open mind for all kinds of stuff. So
One sales.
I'm not going to do. I'm not going to go to McDonald's and have coffee with 12 other guys.
Oh, there you go. Yes, you're going to go to yeah. We don't want to go to McDonald's, have coffee with 12 other guys, and wait to die. That's not the philosophy that Mark Kemp comes from. That's it. Yeah. One sales technique, Mark, that should be illegal.
That should be illegal. Yeah. The manipulation of the assumed close. So I say, Keith, when I'm your agent, we're going to do this. Next week, when I'm your agent, sort of thing. And just manipulation, period.
Yes, yes. And finally, Mark, when you were paddling home from your last day at the office, knowing you'd kept at your last promise to leave a day too soon, what did you realize was the real thing you've been selling all those years? Because I don't think it was employee benefits. What were you selling, Mark Kempf?
No, I'm serving trust in my ability to solve problems for people.
Yeah. Mark, I'm really grateful for your time here today. I know I got to tell you this just on a personal level. I've been interacting with you on the platform for whatever, it's been over a year now on LinkedIn. I surely enjoy your content. I love seeing your responses on the content we're putting out there. I know that we were eager to get you on the show. I hope you've had as much fun hanging out with us today as we've had with you.
Great. And I want to just say, great to meet all you guys. All three of you guys. I watch you quite often. And
I know you do. You're an active participant in our community. And I want, on behalf of Marty and John, I just really want to say thank you because, we know you have a choice where you can spend your time and you choose to spend your time with us. So I'm really grateful for that. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. All the best, eh?
Mark, we'll stay in touch and you come back, hang out. You come back on a free-for-all Friday and we'll drop some ridiculous conversation with you too. How's that sound?
That'd be great. Yeah.
I would love to hear Mark's opinion on some things.
Yes. Yeah. Mark, stay tuned. We're going to talk dry humping in this next 30 minutes.
I'll step off.
All right, Jimmy, we're going to reset with Mark. Marty, you sticking around for a bit or you got to rock and roll too, brother?
I got to roll soon, but I'll stick around because I know you got something on the table.
Yeah, so let's do this. Let's do a lifestyle tip with Andersen, Jimmy. We'll reset hour 2, and then we'll come back and we'll get into the dry humping conversation with myself, Marty, and Johnny when we come back right here on Mornings in the Lab with Keith, John, Marty, and all of our friends. Let's do it, Jimmy.
I don't care what the question is. Almonds are the answer.
Who said that?
Jon Andersen. I see you've learned the art of paraphrasing from Keith Billis.
All right. This is a doozy today. If you guys were watching the show, you heard me describe the kind of a barn burner day. I had a challenging day yesterday. Many things that just kind of went wrong. But here was the thing. It wasn't just one, it wasn't two, it just kept happening throughout the day. But as I was going through this, as frustrated as it was, I was also taking each situation to learn something. And in each time something went wrong, it gave me an opportunity to get better. Now, because I went through the day with this mindset, and every time something went wrong, of course, I had to deal with it, I was frustrated. Then I looked at it from the a drone shot, so to speak. Okay, here's the problem. Here's the solution for right now. And here's the solution to make sure this doesn't happen again. Now, when I wake up today, I basically realized that I had a tough day yesterday to make my future life better. The mistakes that I made will not be made again, but more importantly, I've actually updated my life. I don't run into these issues again. So the tip is this. When something goes wrong, it's going to be frustrating. Let it roll off your back. Ask yourself a simple question. What can I learn from this? And how can I make my life better moving forward from what I learned? And if you do this, number one, it makes it a lot easier to deal with the shit coming down the pipe. But number two, it just helps you understand that everything that lands in your lap that doesn't go your way is just an opportunity to get better. Rock and roll.
The only reason we do this transition is so you can take a pee break, Nation. So get up, go stretch those legs for a few seconds. No dry humping, though. You'll miss the good stuff.
Seriously, is this what Marty means with white boy humor?
Hour 2 starts now.
White boy humor. That's what it is, Marty. That's what it is, Somar.
I guess that's what it is, Keith.
That's what it is, Marty. All the words coming from our lovely colleague, Melissa, who's the director of words here at Mornings in the Lab. I love it. I love the fact that we got my brother Marty from another mother hanging out with us, and we're having some fun here. Welcome back to Lab Nation. If you're just dropping in for the first time, do yourself a favor right now. Hit like, subscribe, drop a comment so you can be part of the daily accountability crew with myself, Jon and Marty, every single day, 8 o'clock Eastern time, right here on YouTube, LinkedIn, and X. Good morning, Jay. I see you there in the comments. This is the live morning show for men's motivation, real talk, and entertaining conversations. Guys, hour 2 is we're going to crank the dial up. We're going to get into the deep dive in a few minutes. The productivity hacks look absolutely insane. We're going to get into Reloaded. We're talking about confidence, health, and dry humping next in a couple of moments. Then the morning focus, we're going to talk about the uncomfortable question. Are you solving the right problem? Or are you just actually burning energy, grinding in the wrong bottleneck? And it might even link to some of the stuff that happened yesterday in Jon's life. Community Corner coming up at the bottom of the hour. We're going to talk about what's happening over on the platforms, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Substack. But Jimmy, let's get into it. Let's transition over to intercrural sex. The benefits, Marty, of dry humping. Jimmy, let's get after it.
What if the secret to a more confident and connected you was hidden in plain sight, just beyond the edge of your comfort zone? We're sold a one-size-fits-all model of intimacy, a model that often creates more pressure than pleasure, that diversifying our intimate experiences is directly linked to higher self-esteem and deeper emotional bonds. But adding to it, it's about discovering that true confidence comes from the courage to explore, to communicate, and to connect in ways that are authentic to you. Redefine your connection. Reclaim your confidence.
Hey, Marty, so I was thinking about you and I put this topic on the table. Yeah, true story. Because I like to think about my brothers.
At the worst times. At the weirdest times possible. Know the man.
1 Marty, 2 Marty, 3 Johnny, 4. 1 Marty.
Yeah, just keep Johnny in those thoughts. Leave me out of it. I hope Johnny's listening too.
You know, sometimes when men are getting after with their partner, and there's often that thought where it's like, okay, I don't want to get it over with right now. I got to think about baseball. Well, maybe when I'm in the moment, I'll just think about Marty or Johnny.
Still don't like it.
Lauren,
yeah, I'm not,
why are you getting text from Marty right now? Oh, I don't know. I'm just getting a text from Marty in the wrong time.
Does Lauren hear this? What are her thoughts on this? I'm curious to hear what she has
just rolled her eyes. Well, listen, have you ever, I know you've wondered, maybe you haven't wondered, but I know there's some men out there that wonder if there's a way to spark deep intimacy, enjoy serious pleasure, and lower health risks, all without penetration. Well, I want to talk about the hidden benefits because nobody else is talking about this, Marty. We pride ourselves in having conversation nobody else is having. The hidden benefits, good time, of intercrural sex, aka dry humping, and why it's a powerful, overlooked option for men's health and relationships. So when you hear this off the bat, I'd love to hear your first gut reaction to the topic of intercrural sex, aka dry humping.
I'd rather just cuddle, man.
Yeah.
Cuddle.
Well, maybe it's kind of the same though. It's so if you're cuddling,
if we're going to do it, I want to do it. I don't.
It's cuddling, but cuddling could be like rubbing, rubbing cuddling, where it's like that could be like
that's my point.
There you go. Yeah. So, but understanding how dry humping enhances physical satisfaction, it lowers STI risks, supports inclusive intimacy. Men, especially as we age, Marty, maybe not so much in your world and maybe not so much in maybe Carter's world, but, as men age, maybe the conversation isn't so much about sex or penetration. Hold on. Why the fuck not? It's about redefining what intimacy and men's health looks like in 2025. So let's talk about non-penetrative options. That just seems like it's something we don't talk about, is it, Marty? I'm not being serious right now. We just because we're all men want to penetrate, right?
Well, yeah, with men, it's 0 to 100. So 0 or 100, I should say.
So there's a psychological effects of dry humping because it expands his sexual repertoire. It reduces performance anxiety. So some men, especially as men age, might still suffer from performance, quote unquote, anxiety. So doing something like this might help support some of that self-confidence for men, which might be something we might want to consider along the way. Yeah.
I'm still trying to see how this works, but if there's science to back it up, there has to be some validity to it.
Well, in good time, Charlie comes back and says chafing. Yeah, so in other words, it's cuddling, it's chafing. I'm eager to hear Anderson's opinion on this, but Johnny, we're talking about dry humping right now, man, and the benefits from it, especially as an alternative for men who are experiencing discomforts with penetration or who are experiencing challenges with intimacy.
Well, I mean, I think my first thing is if I would try to, what was that thing? It was called soaking.
Yeah.
Yeah. See,
when you think you're not supposed to do it, you want it more.
I can't believe you brought up soaking from months ago.
Why suffer if you don't have to?
Yeah. Just and if you're scared, just don't have the person jumping up and down the bed.
Yeah. So here might be the strongest benefit. So we know there are gentlemen that listen to our show that may have accessibility challenges. Marty, Johnny. Right? Maybe troubles with movement or moving around or walking or just struggling with medical conditions. So dry humping is a way to keep intimacy alive with physical limitations. And for me, when I found this topic for discussion, it was so much more about helping men overcome the fear of, well, if you can't penetrate or if you penetrate for 2 seconds, this might be an offer that might be more fulfilling for you that reduces any stigma attached with intimate relations, aka sex.
I mean, my mind goes right to the point where it's like if someone has created a lifestyle where they're missing these parts of life, like if they're not moving around much, they're not having sex because they've picked a life that this is the outcome. I mean, at that point, it's just like, okay, that person can't be helped.
John, true story, man. I found, because I'm always looking for stuff for our show. I found a study that there's actually 1% of the world population doesn't have sex. And we're going to talk about it later next week. And why? Like there's a bunch of people that don't have sex, no interest in it, don't want to.
Well, and then the ones that do it like every fucking 30 days for 3 minutes.
Yeah, I know.
God damn it, man. It's like this is a part of life that, I mean, if it wouldn't be so pleasurable. Excuse me. It wouldn't if it wasn't. It's pleasurable. So it's something that's supposed to be part of our lives. And
Yes.
somehow people have taken more interest in a bag of Cheetos in television than sex.
It's incredible to me still to this day how humans still, I'll say it, stigmatize sex, John, Marty. Like maybe stigma is a big word, but we still kind of think it's like taboo-ish something. People just don't want to, I don't know. It's like,
it's almost like we've just got our perspective so screwed up. I mean, it's okay in our society to be, not be able to have sex, be 40 fucking pounds overweight, be on 5 fucking daily medications.
Yes.
But all of a sudden, if you're taking a little fucking test for HRT and you work out, 5 days a week, you're straight.
Yeah, and you have sex with your wife and you have a health and good life, but you're making good choices.
How is it that doing things to make life better has become extreme?
It's certainly an interesting question. It really is.
It's because there's so many people on the other side that are too fucking lazy. They'd rather throw a turd at the people that are taking, the steps to make life better than to actually do it themselves.
Yes. So brothers, intimacy isn't about following old scripts. It's about finding what brings you and your partner joy, safety, and confidence. And sometimes that confidence might come from dry humping. So don't be afraid to try new paths to pleasure and connection. And dry humping might be the entry point to further connection. Marty, I see you smirking there with a smile on your face.
I see what you did there. I like how you tied it all together, man. I like
I've been doing this a little bit there, Marty, just a couple times.
No, you're pretty good at it, but I'm still not doing it. I'm still not dry humping.
But think like this though. Yes, it's just dry humping, but if somehow, some way, dry humping and you've been in a relationship for 25 years and that brings around some sort of a, different type of arousal, fucking perfect.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, of course I can't, I'm not going to get terribly graphic, but in terms of my sex life, I'm always looking for something that's a little bit different, that's going to give her a slightly different dimension, that's going to create, some different type of arousal.
Yes.
Well, I bet you for sure if I fucking dry humped her, she would fucking love it.
Yeah. Well,
guaranteed.
Yes. So here's the other thing
thanks, John,
that is often not discussed. And John, looking at you, brother, first of all, how come it is that society can openly talk about sex toys for females and be okay with it and not a taboo and it's normal, but the moment that a man wants to buy a sex toy for himself, it's like automatic fucking stigma and chastise. Oh, you got a masturbator? Yeah, what the fuck? What's wrong with that? My hand doesn't work. And I see you laughing, but it's true, John. It's absolutely true.
No, my first thought was, what kind of toy is the motherfucker buying?
Well, and then Good Time says,
you could put yourself on Front Street and get teased for buying the wrong shit, I'm sure. I mean, I've never bought a sex toy for myself, but I can only imagine.
Me neither. I know. Well, and now there's a bunch of like electronically connected toys that have apps and shit, and you plug in the wall. And Good Time says, I think Chinese have a robot for that. Now I know why Mark Kemp wanted to get the hell out of the lab for this conversation. He's like, I'm out of here. I'm not sticking around for this one.
Is he still here?
Back in the day when I was doing dumb shit, I had some friends that were, king of dumb shit.
Yeah.
And I had this fucking buddy of mine, and he was always banging these hookers. I'm like, dude, what is that? I was like, God damn. It's like you're gonna go fishing in Safeway. Is that how it works? You pay for your that's not fishing. It's just buying your fish, So one day he's got this fucking blow-up doll in his house. What the fuck is this, dude? I'm weaning myself off the hookers. Like, that's what you need to do. That's what you need to do.
Oh my God. I'm weaning myself off the hookers, so I'm buying the blow-up doll.
Yeah, it's a one-time purchase.
Oh, Marty, I'm sure glad you stuck around for this, brother.
Yeah, me too. I mean, that's a first.
I love it. So there's some, again, just through reading it.
Listen, and those are the people you need to get out of your life when it's time to start moving forward with your life.
That's exactly, yes, that's exactly it. Oh, I love it. All right, Marty, I'm suspecting you got to rock and roll, brother.
Yeah, I got to rock and roll, man.
Let's
good stuff. I'm glad I stayed.
I'm really glad you stayed too, Christopher Martin. I love it, brother. You have yourself an awesome day, okay, pal? Mr. Big Back Activity, Christopher Martin joining us this morning. Always love when Marty's in the lab with us.
Yes, sir. I love being here. I'll see y'all tomorrow, man.
You bet. Jimmy, let's go to the productivity half that looks insane. We'll walk Marty out of the lab. And Jimmy, let's throw it to the productivity hack that looks insane right now with Keith and Jon. Have you ever noticed that the longer you stare at a task, the heavier it gets? I was thinking about Jon this morning, knowing actually after you told me what happened to you yesterday, I thought this might be something that could link to what went through your day yesterday. Let's get into the productivity move that looks insane. But the way to lower the mental barrier and let momentum take the wheel, I just butchered the whole opener. Jimmy, let's roll it.
What if the most powerful productivity hack isn't a hack at all, but a simple shift in perspective that changes everything? We're conditioned to believe that big results require big, painful effort. But what if that's a lie we've been telling ourselves? Neuroscientists are discovering that the human brain is far more receptive to small, playful challenges than it is to brute force. Imagine transforming your to-do list from a source of dread into a game you're excited to play and win. It's time to rewrite the rules of productivity and unleash your true potential.
Hey, Jon, I found something fun to talk about here today. And I know we're always trying to offer tactics and techniques for men to get up, get after, hit audacious goals. And often we both know the biggest challenge men have is just getting started. And I thought that I found something that was put together by a fellow, I'm trying to find the guy's name here, but it's like this reverse Pomodoro technique, Jon. It's just the 2-minute trick, which if you're struggling to do any kind of task, it's this idea that just sit down and commit 2 minutes to it. Because the moment you get your brain moving for those 120 seconds, I see you nodding because I know you agree with this, but the moment you get your brain moving towards that 120 seconds, science says that as you hit your 120 seconds, your brain says, Anderson, keep fucking going, man. Keep going on that task. Right?
You know, I love this, brother.
It's this idea of shrinking the start, Jon. It's like shrinking the whole start from going, okay, oh, fuck, I got a 90-minute task in front of me. No, I actually just got 2 minutes. And Jon, in many ways, and what I thought about it in many ways, and I think you'll like how I segue this, is I shared with you last week when I was kind of coming back into my world, these 10-day, 100-day things. So to me, when I was looking at 100 days, I broke it down and said, okay, if I can just get through 10 days and give myself a free one, I then break it back. I like this because when I start my morning every single day with 90 minutes kind of to get myself going, 2 minutes, anybody can do anything for 2 minutes, Johnny.
Well, and I so agree. And I love the concept. Yeah. But what I actually do is I go back to 1 minute.
Oh,
yeah. Because it's an easier barrier, right?
Yes.
And I believe the same concept. I just think that somewhere around that 1 minute mark, that person is going to feel like, oh shit, I'll just try another minute.
Yes.
So my belief is that the lower the barrier of entry, the more it's going to be applicable to the people that are stuck.
Yes. I love that. And I love that you even say break it down to a minute, because you've heard me say many times in my situations where I have to do what I dislike, which is my running. And if I know I got to run for 60, I've shared with you many times, go, okay, if I can go for 10, once my brain's going for 10, I'm like, well, hey, I only got 50 more to do. I do one more of 20. I'm halfway there. It's just stacking minutes, right? So I like that you said, if you can get 1 minute down, well, shit, man, you can stack another minute. And it's this idea, Jon, of gamifying the mundane. You do that, you don't even realize it. Actually, I was thinking about you. I was putting this here. You gamify your life by, okay, do this equals this, right?
Oh, dude, I've literally taught myself this in the squat rack, because
tell me,
I'd be getting into the squat rack like I was always big on taking a certain weight. You know, 4 plates, 5 plates, 6 plates. How many can you do?
Yes.
With 4 plates, I was closing the door on 50 reps. But to climb in there and say you're going to try to get 50, that's brutal. Okay, I'm going to go in and see how many I can get. So I knew I would go to 25 without stopping, right? Then I'd bite another 10. And at that point, I would just start biting off what I could. And usually I wasn't the one counting. I didn't want to know where I kind of knew where I was.
Yes.
But
yes.
The bottom line is I'd get to a certain point. Okay, you have one more. Let's get one. Breathe. Okay, I would limp along with one more, sometimes 11, 12, 13 times. Because I thought I got 5 more, the brain said, you don't have it. I can do one, though.
Yes. I really enjoyed when you said how, 11 to you meant 1 + 1. And I love that, because when you're like, you got to do 10 reps. No, I'm actually going to do 1 + 1, one more than one. And that whole mindset was really stuck with me, because how simple it is, but yet over time, how meaningful it becomes.
Have you heard the name Ed Milet?
Yes, I have. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
He's I think if he's not now, he's got to be closing the door and being a billionaire, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
One of the things that he operates off of all parts of his life, and he preaches constantly, is the power of one more.
Yes.
One more handshake, one more call, one more rep. If you live with the idea of looking for one more, your life advances so fast, and you get your brain trained for this. It's just constantly looking for one more. You're done. Okay, one more.
I was taught that when again, you and I grew up with Xerox, and back in the day, Xerox was the epitome of the sales organization, right? I was taught when I was crazy. I know, right? So I was taught, Johnny, when I was selling for Xerox, that if I was going to, again, I'll do a role play. I was coming to Jon Andersen's office, and if I had a meeting with you coming through your door, I was taught that when I left that meeting, well, Keith, there's a door on the left in that office building, and there's a door on the right in that office building. You're already there. Why would you not go to the left door and the right door before you leave the building? And it's funny, man, how many men couldn't wrap their heads around that concept. And you know who those that won? The one that went to the left door and the right door. And it's funny, man, because I'd see a lot of guys that leave their meeting, get into the car. I'm like, what about the left door, right door? I'll do that later. I'm like, oh, okay. But over time, if I go to one meeting, it's actually 3 every single day. Right? Because I'm going to the left and the right door. It's such a simple fucking thing over time. It accumulated. That's why I was successful, Jon Andersen. True story.
And another thing I love about this is you're in an environment. Yeah. You just have one meeting. Yeah. You get a chance to do it a second time. And you're always going to be better at the second time you do something in a certain environment.
Yes.
So why not? I mean, God damn it. I just got this one. The second one's going to be even easier.
I tell you, man, I love the left door, right door mentality, because I was already in the energy coming to meet John, and whether it went positive or negative, I knew I had 2 more shots to have some fun, right? So I left the room. I'd go to the next meeting. Okay, it was dead. I'd go to the third one, but I'd leave the building having 3 meetings done when I only had 1 planned. Over a week, you can start doing the math. It accumulates, right? So I like thinking about that, and you can always do 1 more, gamifying things.
And then the idea that you maximized the situation.
100%. You drove all the way there.
That inside that feels good.
Yes. Good morning, everybody. Hang out with Keith and John before John's going to rock and roll out of here in a couple of minutes. I suspect John's got a day of solving some problems today. So but before we do that, Rico's got a question for both of us, and I want to think about it here. Let's put it out here, brother. If you carry a baby calf up a pair of steps every day, will you still be able to carry it up after 1 year?
Is this some sort of a riddle, or is this?
I don't know. I'm looking at it here. I think it might be actually.
Yeah, I mean, from the standpoint of like an adaptation, every time you carry that calf up, you're going to get a little bit better. You would be carrying that calf up every time you did it. It would be more efficient.
But I'm going to suspect that after a year,
mentally more resilient.
But after a year, it's not a calf anymore. It's after a year, it's going to be a cow.
Yeah,
maybe that's the riddle, right?
Yeah, you're carrying a cow up the stairs now.
I'm thinking that becomes the riddle from Rico 402. Rico's a regular. Thanks, Rico. You're stumping Keith and Johnny here this morning. And it's funny, John, because when B Drive Bernard was shaking, Bernard found our show. And hey, guys, just a quick reminder, if you need some honey, Go knock on Bernard's store. He's got awesome honey for skills. He's got a honey subscription. But he says, that's funny. I think when I first came to the show, I mentioned having Ed Milet as a great guest. And I was like, yeah, I think it's a great idea. So it's funny that John brings it up as well. And then B Drive says that calf grows faster than you. Yeah. So I guess it does grow faster over that 1 year, right? It does grow fast. Actually, now you think about it, it goes super fast.
I guess that would work with any animal that grows quickly.
Yeah. Yes, this is true. This is absolutely true. But hey, guys, I just want to wrap up our quick little chat on the productivity hack that looks insane. And I threw on the table, just start anything with 2 minutes. John said even lower the barrier and start any task. Just saying to yourself, I don't want to do something today. Start for 1 minute. You can do anything for 1 minute. And once your brain gets into it, next thing you know, you're going to be into it after 2 minutes. But guys, just to wrap it up, starting tiny isn't a weakness. It's actually a strategy. Yes. Own the 2 minute, own the 1 minute edge, stack those small wins, and watch your day, your goals, your mindset, and your athletic performance compound. Because that 1 minute,
too, brother, it helps a person take that step out of their comfort zone.
Yes. It's exactly what it does. Because you're not used to walking towards that. You can find a step and then gain confidence by walking there. And it's funny about gaining confidence, John, because one of the other notes here too, and I know you'll agree with this too. And here's something I would encourage people to think about. And it's one of those things that I don't know if we have awareness about it until somebody says it in front of you. Enclothed cognition is real. Dr. John Petrocelli, I think you're listening. Enclothed cognition. John, dressing sharp changes how you feel and perform. However you want to define sharp. Yeah. But your environment and your wardrobe can nudge focus, confidence, and output. So even as simple as I'm not feeling good about going to the gym, here's a suggestion. Go and buy yourself some new gym clothes. You don't got to go drop $1 million, but go buy yourself something you want to put on your body and then go to the gym. You might feel pretty good about yourself.
Bro, there was a certain set of clothes that I would wear on certain training days.
There you go. Yeah, exactly. Right. So those are things that you can do, which is and then one last thing, guys, accountability intention. Make it socially costly to skip. Tell a buddy you're going. Right. But I like what John threw out last week. Accountability partners are training wheels. It's funny. I had a conversation with my dad on the weekend about an uncle that is going through physiotherapy. And my dad's like, the guy just wants somebody to fucking hold his hand all the time. And he goes, he needs to take responsibility for his own life. It's my 82-year-old dad talking about his 80-year-old brother-in-law. And I'm like, yeah, no shit. Because it's that society raised with the doctor will take care of me. No, actually.
100%.
So what are you doing, man, after you get out of here? I'm really eager to hear about, do you have stress for today? Do you have problem-solving abilities happening today? What's happening today?
Well, I kind of got it all lined up because I'm
eager to hear about it.
The water truck is coming to fill it up all the way. The plumber's coming to fix the water, whatever the problem with the water is.
Yeah.
It's even better since he's coming. I'm going to have him install the new dish on the roof. So that's it takes responsibility off me. So the only real problem I got to solve is the Jeep, and I'm not taking the Jeep back to the same fucking shop that keeps. I mean, this is the fourth fucking time that this shop has fixed that clutch and it keeps going out. So I actually have a neighbor who he just does a little side business where he works on shit. So it might be too big of a job for him, but if he takes it, dude, it's perfect. I can limp it over there. He's just half a mile away. Yeah. If I can limp that Jeep to him and have him fix it, then I pretty much have solved all my problems. The Jeep is the last question mark.
There you go. Hey, before you do go, Jimmy, I'll get into this after Johnny leaves, but I do want to ask him a question about this. Hey, in your journey, brother, through your 40 years, and I'm glad you put on your 4 decades of getting after it, have you ever found yourself, Jon Andersen, being the bottleneck for some of your team's success? And what did you learn? How did you learn that you were the fucking problem?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. That's when you're scaling, that's always a concern, and you always got to look at that.
Mm-hmm. So, what was the light for you though, John, that went on going, holy fuck, I'm actually the problem to this right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think I try to stay a step ahead of it though.
Okay.
So, because I recognize, like, with my coaching and mentoring business, there's only so much that I can do. And I like to do it, but when we really start to cook, Sometimes there's a fleet of people who come in that don't want the full blown mentoring coaching. So
yes,
I created a course which is totally self-contained.
Okay.
So
okay.
someone wants to work with me. So if we ever get in a position where I'm not able to cover, that kicks in, and it keeps everybody, because it's really important for the team to know, hey, can you imagine if I came to a team meeting and said, okay, guys, you're doing a great job, but I need you to slow down.
Yes.
They're like, that's not why I came to this organization.
Yes. Yes.
That's not why I'm part of this team. I'm part of this team because we're progressive and we move forward. So I have to lead by example and make sure that I'm not the bottleneck. So that was like in my coaching business, that's what I did to make sure that I got that prepared. So that's never an issue. But 100%, I mean, especially if you're leading by example, you have to think ahead. You can't all of a sudden think, well, fuck, oh my God, look what I got everybody GMing and now I'm holding everybody up.
Yes.
You're going to lose. If your team loses belief in their leader, you got a problem.
Oh yeah. I went through, when I was putting this topic together for today's show, I was reflecting on my experiences leading ICUC, and there were a couple of times where I know I was the bottleneck. Like, wait a minute, I'm the guy who's holding everything up. So you create that awareness. And then I remember having conversations with my team saying, you know what, I'm the guy in the way here. I'm going to step back and offload. You now you own this responsibility now. But those were the key words, saying you, Jon Andersen, own this responsibility now. I'm gone with it. And it was that handoff, right? That verbal, that intentional handoff, because then I was able to hold you accountable for this instead of me being the bottleneck for it. You follow me, right? Because if you're not getting it done, I'm like, what the fuck? Why aren't you getting it done? Oh, instead of, oh fuck, I'm the guy holding it up. It's as a visionary leader, like I would consider me being, and I would suspect you are as well. It's easy, very easy to be that bottleneck. Very, very easy.
Well, and the thing about it, when what you're saying and you're describing, if you have the right people involved, when you hand that off to them, they're going to feel like it's a reward. They're going to feel like this is an opportunity.
Yes. Well, it's funny you say that, John, because I remember we were at a sales conference in Whistler a number of years back, and I remember I went to my two lieutenants at the time and I said, this is your event. I'm out of here. And like, what? And I was usually the good time Charlie, the guy leading the charge, having all the fun, footing the visa, drinking the party and leading it all. I made an intentional decision that the room, the environment, I wanted it to become theirs. And for it to become theirs, I had to get out of the way. That was hard for me as the leader. Because I was like, okay, I guess I got to get out of the way. And I remember going back to my hotel room and I'm looking there going, holy fuck, I'm usually the guy down there with everybody, but I'm now out of it. And it was because, and it was a big moment for me as a leader, because I recognized that in order for it to get to the next level, I had to get out of the way. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So,
yep.
All right, pal, a lot of fun, man. I your face, you got to go back and watch the first 2 minutes of the show. Your face when they first started the show, man, you're just fucking chewing on that gum, and you could you're just prepping the last 5 hours of your night.
I mean, I was like, holy shit, man. I am like a fraction of what I normally am today. So I've got to find a way to get myself kind of peaked here.
I love it.
Actually, as soon as we're wrapped up here, I'm actually going to lay down for 30 minutes, see if I can catch a quick nap.
Good.
Get a little bit more, a little recharge, and then get up and get moving. So I'm gonna implement a second nap today for sure.
It's funny how we're aligned. I was actually going to sign off and say, Johnny, go have yourself a nap. So I'm glad you were thinking about that as well. So that's awesome. Good. Okay, well, let's do that then. Johnny, go have a nap, man. Great conversation. Are you in Cali tomorrow? You're down there all week, or what do you?
We're in Mexico now. You know.
I'm sorry, I meant Mexico. You're down in Mexico for the rest of the week, eh? Indefinitely.
Yeah, we're gonna be San Felipe. We're gonna be here until the middle of October.
Fun. Oh, excellent. Okay, fantastic. Yeah. Awesome. All right, pal. Lots of love from me to you. Good conversation today. A lot of fun as always. I enjoyed the dry humping chat, and you enjoy your day today. And I'm looking forward to hearing the trials and tribulations of John, Terry, and Ben in Mexico tomorrow.
Well, hopefully tomorrow I'll have my system back.
And no drama. Right? You're going to sit down tomorrow and say, Keith, normal day. I'm like, yes.
Let's go, baby. Let's
go. All right, Johnny, have a good one, brother. We'll see you in 22, okay?
You got it, brother. Have a good loop.
Take care, pal. You too. All right, Jimmy, let's walk Johnny out of here. Let's go to this conversation that John and I started around, are you solving the right problem? Let's talk about diagnosing your bottleneck. Maybe you, Mr. Leader, maybe you, Mr. Manager, maybe you, Mr. Man, are the bottleneck. Jimmy.
What if the biggest obstacle in your path wasn't the mountain ahead, but a single misplaced stone in your own shoe? We're conditioned to attack the most obvious challenges, the visible fires, while a hidden silent constraint quietly sabotages our success from within the system. Breakthroughs in science and industry often come not from a single moment of genius, but from a relentless investigation to find the one process that's slowing everything else down. Before you try another solution, ask yourself, where does the work pile up? That's your X factor. That's the bottleneck you were never meant to see. Find the clog in the system and unleash your true potential.
Good morning, everybody. You're left with the handsome chief. Y'all looking around? Fuck, that's me. No, I'm the handsome chief. Yeah, don't look around. No, we're not looking at Jimmy. Jimmy's the handsome mini chief. Yeah, true story. Hey guys, have you ever noticed how teams sprint harder, they buy more tools, but then they still stay stuck? Today, let's talk about how to diagnose the real bottleneck, perhaps in your life, in your organization, within your family, so you stop firefighting symptoms and start fixing the system. It happens to all of us being a bottleneck, because when you identify the true constraint, why aren't you succeeding? Why is it not working? You unlock faster cycle times, clear priorities, and compounding momentum without burning extra hours or budget. Guys, this is how business athletes turn effort into results. Like we talked about earlier with John, left door, right door, right? It's measuring the flow. It's finding the choke point and freeing it up. Maybe you're the choke point. Do you ever ask yourself that? So ask yourself this, what a bottleneck is and isn't. It's the stage that gates overall throughput, often under resourced, skill limited, or approval heavy organizations where you yourself, Mr. Manager, are the bottleneck. You're the guy holding everything up. You're the guy who's like, I got to control it all. And hey, nation, I'll tell you, man, I have been that guy. And there's even times as I've been building the lab, I have been that guy. I will admit to it. So what do? You empower, you teach, you coach others. You help them be accountable to what your expectations are. And then get out of the way. Right? Map it before you move it. Visualize the end-to-end flow. Sit down with your team and say, this is what we're doing. Make the work visible, then step back. Let the change happen. Let that accountability come to play, right? And then asking yourself and asking your team to measure what matters. It's easy to measure what doesn't matter, but really have that intentional measurement of what's mattering in your business. Some common traps we all perform within business is jumping to a new tool. I got to get this new tool because it's going to work better. Or adding more work harder hours. Or optimizing non-constraints. All will create the local wins, but overall, maybe system losses. Let me go back to my Xerox example. Yeah, I hit those 20 doors this week that I had planned to do. Oh yeah, that's great. Did you do left door, right door? No. Oh, which could have been at 60. What? What do you mean? So I got an invitation for you guys. As you're asking yourself whether you're the bottleneck or whether your team is the bottleneck, ask yourself this. Draw your current workflow. Sit down with yourself as the leader. One screen, one whiteboard, just draw it out. And then time box a 30-minute walkthrough to mark the wait times and the one step with the biggest cue. So as you're going through your work right now, ask yourself, is your colleague unable to get their work done because you're the one holding them up? And then run that quick 5s on that step with the people who do the work. Ask them, how are you making out? Am I getting in your way? Yes, you are, Keith. Ah, fuck. And if you're in your way, have the intention to get out of the way. So if you could only speed up one step in your process, not 2, not 3, but 1. We like to simplify things on the show. 1, which step would move the whole system fastest? And what's the smallest experiment you will try tomorrow? And like you heard us talk earlier, it all starts with 1 minute. You don't got to sit down and do 30, 40, 50, 60 minutes. Get 1 minute. Start 1 minute. That 1 leads to 2. That 1 minute leads to 3. That 1 minute leads to 5. Before you know it, you are not the bottleneck inside of your life or your organization. So ask yourself this. Are you solving the right problem right now? Are you diagnosing the bottleneck? Or are you simply staring at the symptom? All right, Jimmy, looks like we're getting after it here today. You know, Jim, I know we have one more thing I want to get after, which is the 7 morning mistakes stealing results. I know we were going to talk about this with Mark Kempf here, who joined us in the first hour, but we got off in a different direction. So I do want to revisit this before we get to the community corner, because I know for sure we have guys getting up, getting after it, but failing because their good intentions have their habits all in the wrong order. So I found a book from Craig Ballantyne's 7 Dead so you can reclaim your first hour and stack real momentum.
What if your morning routine is a form of procrastination in disguise? You wake up early, you do all the right things, but by the time you get to your most important work, your focus is gone. The science of productivity reveals that the order in which you do things matters more than you think, especially in the morning. Discover the simple shift in your morning sequence that can unlock hours of deep work and creativity. Stop the struggle. Start achieving.
Most guys don't fail because of bad goals. No, we all have our goals. We want to do this, but we fail because of good habits in the wrong order. Oh, is that a thing? It is a thing. So today, on our live morning show, we're going to break down author Craig Ballantyne's 7. I had to be intentional with that because I didn't want to screw up. 7 deadly morning routine sins so that you can reclaim your first hour and stack real momentum throughout the entire day. So guys, I'm going to invite you to consider this. Your first 60 to 9 minutes of your day set the trajectory of your entire day. Protect that window. And you're going to get more done by 10 than most do all day. Better focus, fewer busy work detours, and a compounding effect on goals, business growth, and mental health. All right, Jimmy, let's get after it. Number 1, journaling first thing. You might want to consider dumping your brain out. Just doing some deep reflection. That can burn prime focus minutes. Why it's a problem? Because it diverts your peak mental clarity away from the day's most important task. What you might want to consider is moving journaling to the evening, doing a 60-second task checklist in the morning. Maybe sitting down too long in the morning is burning your reflection mindsets at the wrong time. Number 2, meditating with your phone apps immediately. Even good phone use invites notifications and rabbit holes. Why this might be a problem? Well, context switching, this idea of going from one thing to the other, it kills momentum. You burn time before you've even earned a win. So what you might want to consider is swapping for a short breathing primer, 30 to 60 seconds. Then ship your MIT, your guided meditation as a reward later in the day. Next one, working out immediately. Oh, this one's interesting to me because wrong camera button there, Jimmy. Intense lifting or high impact work when you're cold can increase stiffness and risk, especially lower back. So why it's a problem? It can also cannibalize your best creative strategic hour. If you must train early, keep it light, warm up, and default your main workout to later in the day. Now, this one I don't agree with at all, Craig Ballantyne. Jimmy, we got to get Craig on the show. I actually vehemently disagree with this one. I think the first thing you got to do in the morning is get up, get after it, and work out hard. Because if you do nothing for the rest of the day, you've succeeded in taking care of yourself. So this one, I don't agree with Craig Ballantyne. No, you get up, you get after it first thing in the morning. Good morning, Sadorak Faizuliayev. Hello, welcome to Morning to the Lab with Keith, John, and Jimmy this morning on the buttons. Next one, Jimmy, number 4, long affirmations after waking. Sometimes we sit back and we recite extended citations. Well, sometimes it feels productive, but it delays hard work because it's not real. So what you might want to consider is doing 10 to 20 seconds of priming and do this later affirmation work later on in the day. Next one, guys, number 5, reading for motivation, education right away. So the idea is you get up and you learn. Well, Ballantyne suggests it might be a problem because the inputs replace the outputs. You start the day absorbing, not producing. It's like getting down on the iPad and consuming instead of creating. So what Ballantyne suggests is you might want to read after lunch or pre-bed. Work on output instead of input. Next one, guys. Snooze button. Hitting the snooze button. Hitting the snooze button without a fucking doubt is the number one unequivocal wreck of your day. It's it. That's it. There's nothing more that will wreck your day than hitting the snooze button. Why? Well, because snooze fragments your sleep. It does. And it tells your brain that your goals can wait. I'll get to my goal later. I just need this extra 9 minutes. Even though there's a guy getting up right now, getting after those goals. Good evening, Sardor. Where are you joining me from, Sardor? I appreciate you joining me here on the Big Show Mornings Live with Keith, John, and friends. Where are you joining me from, Sardor? But guys, don't hit the fucking snooze button, regardless of what anybody tells you. So I invite you to do this. Throw the alarm across the room. Put it into a different room. Put the lights on. Glass of water at bedside as soon as you get up. And then number 7, guys, Ballantyne says that don't stretch to start your day. Great habit, wrong slot. His point is, well, it turns into productive procrastination. And what he's suggesting is that maybe you want to do yoga or mobility at the end of the day or a midday reset. Again, Ballantyne, I disagree with you. You get up, you get your day, you take care of your human, your person, your physicality first. Because then everything else doesn't matter. Because my philosophy leans into living instead of dying. So when I'm on my deathbed, I'm thinking about all the days I got up and got after it. So nation, your mornings dint. Jimmy, what the hell is that? Dint? Huh? Oh, fuck. I talk so much on this show every single week that I just sometimes words come out that I don't even know will come out. But guys, your mornings didn't. Your mornings don't need more noise. No, they need sequence. We talk about it every single day, habit stacking. But here's my invitation for you guys. Protect your first hour. Like it's your wife. Like it's your kids. Like it's your business partner. Take that first hour and focus that win before the world wakes up. I guarantee you, it's going to change your momentum. It's going to change your mindset. And it's going to change your results. Sardorbek, Faizilov, I'm from Uzbekistan. My friend Bernie has sent a link of this stream. I appreciate you, Sardor. That's awesome. Bernie, thanks for sending Sardor here. Guys, we're going to get to the community corner to wrap up our show here today. Jim, you know how that works. Let's do it, brother.
Community Corner, your wins, your spotlight.
This is where we celebrate you or roast you with love.
You guys can join the live show with us right now. Phone lines are open, 431-300-3005. Of course, come say hi in the comments. I see Sardor there. I see B-Drive there. I see Lady Drew. I see Michael Global. Unfurl your sails. Unhurried, elevated selling using the Quan principle. Coin is the interlocking bricks on the corner of a building. Slow, consistent, and personal interactions. Michael Global, I love how in tune you are with our show. I appreciate you hanging out with us every single day, man. It's so good that you're here and you're on the ball. And guys, if you're not joining us during the live show right now, fuck, why not? I'm telling you, it happens better live. It's like Memorex. That's a true story. Just pressing buttons. That's why I'm not talking. Yeah, there you go. All right, guys, let's get into this. Let's do this. Because we're going to make the sounds that sound a little bit like this. Today in the Community Corner, we're going to talk about the collapse of critical thinking, a father's fall that turned into a fitness mission, and why hustle culture is grinding people down. These stories, 3 gut checks, and they all point to one question. Are you reacting to life? Or are you actually building it? Jimmy, let's start the conversation over on YouTube. Is critical thinking dying? Well, the psyche over on YouTube has dropped a heavy one. Critical thinking is eroding, and it's not by accident. We live in a world where algorithms reward outrage. Outrage? No, they reward outrage. They reward schools rewarding conformity, and our brains overloaded with non-stop inputs, leaning on shortcuts like groupthink and confirmation bias. Well, that's how smart people make dumb collective decisions. Well, nation, what's the antidote? You know what the antidote is? To slow the fuck down. To read deeply. And ask yourself this: who benefits if I believe this? And what credible opposing view have I engaged with? Because critical thinking isn't just a skill. It's a spiritual act. Freedom over approval. Clarity over comfort. So nation, here's the question for you. When was the last time you slowed down long enough to challenge your own assumptions? Maybe today's the day to slow down, to challenge your own assumptions. Let's move to Substack, you guys. Philip. Yeah. Mars Hauser. Jimmy, I did it. Tells the story of his 75-year-old father taking a hard fall while moving a table with him. Thankfully, no major injury, but it was close. That moment sparked Philip to design an exercise plan for his dad. This was not about six-pack abs, but about mobility, about making sure his father can get up off the ground and stay independent for as long as possible. Sometimes the people who need your coaching most are the ones right in front of you. True story. And the real payoff isn't money, it's time, it's presence, it's independence. So if you're willing to help with strangers with your knowledge, have you asked yourself this? Why not help the people you love most too? Because whether they want your help is another story, but leaning in and asking is the first place to start. Keeping it going here on LinkedIn, when hustle equals productivity. Jeremy Zick came in hot on LinkedIn with a reminder so many leaders need. Hustle is not the same as productivity. No? Just because your team is running faster doesn't mean that they're getting anywhere. Busy work, well, it feels like progress until you look up and realize you've burned out the engine without moving forward. Because productivity requires stepping back, zooming out, and building systems at scale. That's where real growth comes from, guys. Frameworks, not frantic energy. Hustle might get you through a week, a day, maybe even a month. But systems get you through a decade. So if you don't have a system, you're losing. All right, guys, 3 stories, 1 takeaway. Slow down, look closer, and build smarter. If you want your story featured on the Mornings in the Lab live community corner, follow us and tag us in your next post. What do you call someone who started chasing curiosity before most kids even finished middle school? Someone who built online communities at 14, not to be popular, but to bring people together. From testing side hustles to editing YouTube videos, he turned failure into fuel and curiosity into a compass. Along the way, he's worked with startups, 7-figure companies, and even influencers, shaping global conversations. Mornings in the Lab is proud to spotlight Marty, Sixtus Wallwood, a creator building for legacy, not vanity. Follow his journey and see how consistency and clarity can change everything. Some people build careers. Others, like Tom Ritchie, they built legacies. Well, Marty Wellwood is one of those builders. From a small city in Northern Europe, he's been putting the pieces together since he was a kid. Curious enough to try, stubborn enough to learn, and bold enough to keep going. What strikes me about Marty is the foundation he is laying. A community rooted in service, growth, and long-term thinking. Wow. Marty's not just building businesses, he's building people. And Marty, here's how it works, brother. We'd love to have you on the show. We'd love to bring you to Mornings in the Lab with Keith, Jon, and Friends, so we can celebrate you, Marty, and celebrate somebody in your world on an upcoming segment of the big show, Mornings in the Lab with Keith, Jon, and Friends. What if your path to better health isn't about discipline or willpower, but about cracking the code that's unique to you? Because the truth is, your well-being equation is as personal as your fingerprint. And when generic advice fails, the right formula can make everything click. We're talking about someone who trained at Yale, taught psychoanalytic theory, and has 25 plus years of helping people align mind and body. Mornings in the Lab is excited to celebrate Dr. Bronsrice, the voice behind the well-being equation. Follow him to explore the deeper personal side of health and unlock what truly works for you. Hey, Bronze. Surprise. Bronze is not selling quick fixes or magic hacks. No, he's saying, slow down, pay attention. Jimmy, there's the accent. Your well-being isn't the copy job paste from someone else's routine. Too many of you guys are just going, I want to do what that person's doing, and I expect to get the same results. No. Bronze has sat in research labs at Yale. He's taught future psychologists, and he has spent decades helping people face the truth about what actually makes them feel alive. But what makes him stand out is the way that Bronze connects the science to the human side of living. Here's a man who reminds us that the health starts with knowing yourself first. So Bronze, I got an invitation for you, brother. I got this little show. It's called Mornings in the Lab with Keith, Jon, and Friends. It goes 8 o'clock Eastern time right here on YouTube, LinkedIn, and X. And Bronze, would love to have you on my show. Love to hear about your experience at Yale. And would love to talk about the truth that makes people feel alive. And to do that, would love to have you here on the big show, Mornings in the Lab with Keith, Jon, and Friends, so we can celebrate you and celebrate somebody in your orbit on a future episode of Community Corner on the Creator Spotlight right here on Mornings in the Lab. Woo, baby! You guys can hear that sound. That sound used to mean that the show was starting. But the sound today means that the show's about to wrap up. Yeah! Wow. That's a wrap, guys. That is a wrap on today's show. We hit it all. Those 7 silent morning mistakes that were stealing your results. The wisdom of Mark Kemp proving that aggressive selling is dead. A productivity hack that looked nuts, but actually works. It all starts with 1 minute. And even a conversation most shows wouldn't dare touch. And it had everything to do with dry motherfucking humping. Oh yeah, we talked about dry humping today. And if you just took one thing away today, let it be this. Your mornings decide your momentum, and your momentum decides your life. Think about that. That's why we're here every day as your live, free morning accountability partner. Guys, remember to like, subscribe, and comment on this channel. If you like what we're talking about, we'd love to hear from you guys. And then tomorrow we're going to give you the 5-minute system reset to use on the hardest days. You know how we like to talk systems here on the show. So tomorrow, the 5-minute system reset to use on the hardest days. And here's what's on deck for the next show. Our top 5 men's health hacks you can knock out before 8 a.m. The 5-minute system that can flip your day from chaos to control. Bill Maida's simple secret to lifelong fitness, from rice and steak to ice cream. Yeah, true story. We're talking about it. Don't tell Johnny about the ice cream. And then we're going to talk about how to read the room and master the art of conversation control. So guys, don't miss it. Set your alarm clock. Skip the snooze and join us here in the lab, because if you're not starting your day with us, you're already 9 minutes behind the guy who did. I'm Keith Billis. I'm the host of Mornings in the Lab. Thanks, producer Jimmy, who's been on the buttons all day. Thanks, producer Melissa, who's on our words. Thanks to Bernard. Thanks to Michael Global. Well, thanks to Good Time. Bernard, it never does say tall and handsome chief. It just says, I'm the handsome chief. And I'm out of here. I appreciate all of you guys. Lady Drew, Mike Sullivan, I love all of you guys as well. Have a good one, nation. We'll see you guys in less than 24 hours. 22 it is. Ciao, everybody.